Thank you.
Send them through. It's 6:40. Good morning. BBC investigations found that nearly 500 children under the age of 12 have been investigated by police for sexting in England and Wales in the last 4 years.
Sexting is when someone uses a mobile phone to send indecent pictures of themselves to others. Figures from a BBC Newcastle Freedom of Information request show there has been a steady rise in cases. Well, David Smellie is the head of child protection at law firm Farrer & Co. And joins us now. And these figures they're stark, they're shocking, and probably, they're probably just the tip of the iceberg in some ways. What do you make of these figures?
Well, I'm not surprised that the figures are increasing, but it's important to remember it's not an epidemic that's happening. In an NSPCC survey of last year, they estimate that approximately 13% of children have taken images of themselves topless, and about 3% of children have taken images fully naked. So that's the scale of the problem, but I'm not surprised by the figures you quote.
And you were saying that some of those are sending those images, some of those who've taken those images of themselves are sending those to people that they don't know.
Again, the survey says that about 55% of children who have taken those images have shared them with another person. About 30% have actually shared them with someone they don't know.
Which is, again, pretty shocking,
Very,
isn't it?
very serious, yeah.
And what sort of crime are they committing when they do that?
Well, the law of the land was created before anyone thought about the idea of sharing naked images on phone. The laws which are broken are the taking of an indecent photograph of a child, and that law is broken even if the image you're taking is one of yourself. The possession of that image and the sharing and distribution of that images, those are all breaches of the law.
And there is, the police have had to change the way they're dealing with this, haven't they? I mean, what is the change, and is that helpful?
I think the Home Office and the police have done an excellent job. So Chief Constable Simon Bailey and his team have been in charge of a change in public policy on this. What they're seeking to do is to separate out low-risk cases, for example, where the activity is consensual and age-appropriate, and seek not to criminalise those cases, and higher-risk cases, where there are adults involved, where there's coercion or blackmail, or where there is age-inappropriate activity, and then those are the ones which they will seek to take forward.
It'd be handy to get some advice. I'm sure, no doubt, many parents watching this morning. What sort of advice would you give?
Well, the advice that I would give is try and talk to your children about this. I think it's pointless attempting to prevent technology from happening and creeping up. The other day, I actually spoke to my children in the car. I asked them, how common is sexting? And, when you've got your children trapped in the car with you, that's the perfect time to have that type of discussion. So I would say to parents, talk to your children and get it out into the family discussion rather than keeping it under the wraps.
And as we said, the important thing about the police change is that, otherwise you would see possibly hundreds of children with criminal records, wouldn't you, from this?
That's why I think the police changes are so good, because the changes do two things. First, they encourage schools and other organisations not to report cases which are low risk. And secondly, when they are reported to the police have to deal with them as a crime. But they now have something called Outcome 21, which enables no further action and no criminal record to attach to a child.
So they take it seriously, but perhaps not. OK.
Thank you very much for that. There's a bit more advice on our Twitter and Facebook pages as well on that.
There is.